Alright, so you're doing your research, you're planning that big move over to Pittsburgh, and you're wondering what are some reasons I wouldn't want to live in Pittsburgh? What do I not know about the city? Frankly, I didn't want to make this video being that I am a real estate agent in Pittsburgh and I absolutely love my city. I mean, what's not to love? From our skyline to our hills, rivers, cliffs, bridges, the livability, the booming tech, medical, sports, arts, culture scene, and on top of all of that, the most welcoming residents that you will ever encounter. But like any other city, we do have our negatives. And I do want to be brutally honest with you guys moving over here so that you have all the information you need before you make your move here to Pittsburgh. So if you want to know some reasons you shouldn't move to Pittsburgh, hey everyone, it's Rylee Madden with eXp Realty right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to learn everything about working, eating, sleeping, living, playing, all right here in Pittsburgh, make sure you start by tapping that subscribe button and click that little bell so you're notified every time we come out with a new video. We get so many reach outs daily from people moving and relocating to Pittsburgh, and we absolutely love it. If you're considering making a move to Pittsburgh, make sure you start by giving us a call, shooting us a text, sending us an email, DMing us on social media, however you want to get a hold of us. We've got your back when making a move to Pittsburgh. Alright, so I'm just going to run through this list of 5 things that may get on your nerves living here in Pittsburgh, and we're gonna start with number 5. Alright, so number 5 on the list is driving and our drivers in general. Driving in Pittsburgh is going to take some getting used to. So to start, our geography here is pretty unique, but the downside of that is it prevents us from having any true beltway highways that most other major cities have. And that's because we are built around 3 rivers that are surrounded by small mountains. So this does result in having troubles maneuvering around easily. For example, our Fort Pitt Bridge, you have 2 highways and an on-ramp all coming together on a bridge to either go into the tunnel or exit onto another highway, all in the matter of 300 feet. So you have the left lane trying to get to the right side and the right lane trying to get over to the left side. And mind you, this is on a bridge over the river. It gets very congested and sometimes cars will not let you go and it'll mess up your route completely. Situations like that are just annoying and unfortunately they're unavoidable in Pittsburgh. There's been plenty of times where I've messed up driving and it has added and made me go in circles around Pittsburgh, adding at least 10 to 15 minutes to my route time, which can be problematic if you are going somewhere to work. So on top of that, we have the most bridges in the world and a few tunnels, which adds to the difficulty easily getting around the city and our well-known tunnel traffic. So before entering these tunnels, everybody just tends to slow down as if you're actually getting more narrow, and there are some exits outside of the tunnel, so that makes sense, but Pittsburghers always slow down before the tunnel, and that'll just leave a line of cars just in traffic waiting for everyone to get through that tunnel, and honestly, it's for no good reason. And if it's rush hour, especially if you're going through those Squirrel Hill tunnels, oh my goodness, you'll be sitting there for miles, and that's probably the worst of our Pittsburgh traffic. I would say the tunnel traffic. It's just annoying, it's unnecessary, and again, it'll put that damper in your commute time. Now, once you finally learn how to navigate all of that properly,
there's more.
On our roads, we have many potholes, a good bit of construction going on, and some very steep roads. Those are some of the biggest hurdles you'll see driving in Pittsburgh.
But then there's more again.
We have some pretty aggressive drivers here. You will have people tailgating you, just going really fast, unnecessary. We're actually known for some pretty bad drivers, so you just want to be aware, be safe on the roads. Moving on to number 2 is going to be our weather. If you don't like snow or you just can't handle cool temperatures, you might not want to move to Pittsburgh. Although our spring, our summer, and our fall seasons are all gorgeous and beautiful outside, our winter months are long and brutal. From about November to March, we deal with very cold temperatures, which are below freezing, leading to ice, slush, snow, a lack of vitamin D, cold winds hitting your face. It's really just not pleasant, and it drags on for about a good 4 months. You are just ready for some sunshine. I mean, there are some positives to the winter weather, such as beautiful views. We have many nice restaurants overlooking the city, so when it's snowing out around Christmas time, it literally just feels magical. But once it gets into February and March, you're kind of just over it for the season. And then some days you'll actually experience a few seasons in one day. It'll go from nice and sunny out, and in an instant it could be snowing. So even just last week, so right now it's the middle of March, the other day we had an incredibly gorgeous day. It was around the 70s, it was sun shining, and then the next morning I wake up and we have like 5 inches of snow. So weather can change quickly from chilly to hot and from hot to chilly here in Pittsburgh. And then another drawback to our weather is going to be the amount of cloudy and rainy days we get. We're actually right up there with Seattle for the amount of cloudy and rainy days, and they're known as the rainiest city. That again comes with that lack of sunshine, which is just the pain. But I will say, whenever the sun does shine in the spring and the summer, it shines hard, and we have beautiful, beautiful temperatures and weather out. Our summers are pretty hot. We have some beautiful temperatures, usually in the 80s, sometimes reaching the 90s. So it's nice whenever you get to go out and enjoy the beautiful weather, especially with all of the parks and outdoor activities that we have. Personally, I do like to experience all 4 of our different seasons. You really appreciate that sunshine and the summer a lot more. Number 3 is going to be our public transportation. So I did want to touch on this one, even though our public transportation is a great asset depending on where you're located. But I've heard people coming from larger cities who say our public transportation is lacking behind. For instance, our bus system does serve all of Allegheny County, but access drops off dramatically once you leave that city proper. So it's really not something you could rely on unless you really do your research and find out what bus line that is the most convenient for you, and you're gonna wanna find a place right next to that bus line. Because once you're out of that city proper and in our Allegheny County suburbs, it's really hard to find a nearby bus line. I've also heard wait times can be pretty long on the weekends. Instead of coming every 15 minutes, the bus lines usually come maybe every half hour or even longer than that. We do have 676 buses that operate daily, so as long as you pick that right spot, really know the area, which we could help you with, you'll be good. But you do want to make sure you're living next to that bus line before you get here, or else it could be a nightmare. And then you do have our light rail system, also known as the T. So this is a great option for navigating the city, but there are some problems as well. The accessibility points are all through our city proper and then the southern suburbs, leaving out
Literally everywhere else.
There is some plans to add some routes to our different suburban areas, such as Greensburg. People want a T-line going up to Cranberry, going north, but we haven't seen it yet. It's probably in the works, but right now, if you're relying on that T station, you're going to want to be near the accessibility points, which would be our south suburbs of Allegheny County or our city proper if you want to live in the city. But then again, if you are coming from a more rural area, I think you're gonna love our public transportation. It is a great asset, and many people are surprised with how convenient and awesome public transportation is. But if you're coming from a major city that's continually investing in advancing their public transportation and expanding the routes, then you might be disappointed with our public transportation in Pittsburgh. And you may see ours as lagging behind these major cities. Okay, number 4, the 4th reason you might not want to live in Pittsburgh is our size. Although we are known as a major city, we are smaller than most other major cities. Now, Pittsburgh in general is not a small city. city, but it's more accurately described as a smaller, larger city in comparison to other US cities. Our downtown area, you could walk from one end to the other, which I know in other cities like Chicago, that is more difficult. So our population is a bit over 300,000 residents, which again is a small population when you're comparing it to US's cities like New York, Portland, and Chicago. But our metropolitan area does have around 2.5 million people. So if you wanted to count our suburbs next to the city, I'm sure that our population would go up dramatically, as well as our size. 33 out of 35 of the top US cities have more land than we do here in Pittsburgh, excluding San Francisco and Boston. To be fair, Pittsburgh does seem a lot larger whenever you experience it directly rather than just reading the number on the paper. And honestly, there are many advantages in being in a mid-sized city like we are, such as lower costs of living, less traffic, and less crime. And it's just not as crowded and congested, kind of just gives you some room to breathe and explore the city yourself. But if you're looking for that really large city with endless things to do, a ton of nightlife, and just a huge place to discover, you might find that Pittsburgh isn't exactly that. But I like the size of my city, and I don't take for granted these advantages that we get being a smaller, larger city. Number one is going to be our infrastructure. This year we did just have a bridge collapse in Pittsburgh, and that has just brought more attention to our poor infrastructure. In Pennsylvania, nearly 14% of our bridges are in poor condition, ranking number 5 in the whole country. Our state is receiving $1.6 billion to upgrade our highways and our bridges. There's really no way to expand these highways, or there's no easy fix to it, because there's either a building there or always something getting in the way. It's just not an easy fix. Our roads do have many potholes to them, and then our cold weather, which leads to that constant freeze-thaw cycle for 4 months out of the year, just doesn't help. So many of our bridges that are deemed unsafe or in poor condition, we actually just got an app for that, so you could actually go on that and see which bridges are deemed in poor condition, and that just makes it a lot more personal. If you hate bridges like I do, I have bridge anxiety driving over bridges, especially after I heard that news, but it can be scary. So although they are working on fixing it and giving us money, I mean, our infrastructure as a whole just needs some significant work done. And although it is coming, that's going to lead to more construction being done, some roads being cut off, which is just an annoyance, but it's something that we're gonna have to deal with. So if you are coming over to Pittsburgh, you may notice some roads being closed, some more construction going on, which is work that needs done. It is necessary, and it is for a better purpose. So if these reasons don't bother you that much and you're still planning to make a move over to Pittsburgh, you could start by giving us a call, shooting us a text, sending us an email, DMing us on social media. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back when making a move to Pittsburgh. You can watch all of our next videos, start learning more about the city of Pittsburgh, all we have to offer, our different neighborhoods, our housing market, and much more. And you could start by watching these next videos. And we'll catch you in the next one.